Welcome back to Loose Women this Monday afternoon. Amanda Donohoe will be with us soon, but now there she is. Our first guest deserves a place in the Halloween Hall of Fame after directing the groundbreaking horror An American Werewolf in London way back in 1981. 2 years later, he continued to instill the fear factor into the 80s generation when he got behind the camera to direct the classic Michael Jackson video, Thriller. Oh, please welcome an expert in the field of fear, John Landis.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
The great John Landis, I can't believe you're here. Massive fan.
Gee, I wish my wife greeted me.
How did the whole Thriller thing come about?
Oh, well, Thriller came about because of An American Werewolf in London. Rick Baker won the first of his 7 Academy Awards. He's a makeup artist for doing the metamorphosis in Werewolf. And Michael called me and he wanted to turn into a monster. That was, I want to turn into a monster.
And you thought it would be good for him because it would make him seem a little bit more manly, I'll put that.
Well, no, he had done 2 videos, Billie Jean and Beat It. So I said, you have to have a girl, Michael. You have to relate to a living woman, because I wanted to give him some sex, And in fact, that jacket, my wife, Deborah Nadoolman Landis, the costume designer, she designed all of my films and Raiders of the Lost Ark, lots of movies. But she designed that jacket. Really? It was sold, there you go, it was sold a month ago for $1.8 million at auction.
That's fantastic.
And I told her, I said, we're going in the jacket business.
Yeah, you're very good at it.
She put on her website, I'll make you one for $500,000.
It was the first of its kind as well, wasn't it? And it was like a little mini movie rather than just a pop video.
Yeah, it was a theatrical short. It was 15 minutes. It was shown in cinemas before MTV.
And was it difficult to make it last that long? Because obviously most pop videos are a lot shorter than that.
Well, actually, one of the reasons I think Thriller still works is because pop videos were always what's called needle drop, meaning they played the record mix. And on Thriller's about a 3.5-minute song, and when you watch the movie, it's about 12 minutes long. I took the original tracks, completely recut them and remixed them, and it's a different piece of music. That's why whenever you see people do the Thriller dance, there's always the moment where they're sort of walking around kind of, when does it start? Because it's different in the short.
What did Michael feel about at the end when you played what you turned up?
Michael was no, he was delighted. He was, Mike, when I made Thriller, he was a total pro. He was 20, he'd been performing since he was 6. And no, he was wonderful. Although they were Jehovah's Witness. Catherine Jackson's father was a deacon in the church. He used to wear a boater, have a cane. He was a very dapper guy. And the church was quite horrified by Thriller. That's where that title came from. That was my compromise. No, but Mike loved it.
Yeah, one of my favourite films of all time is American Werewolf. I remember American Werewolf in London. I remember first watching it and thinking, this is a perfect film because at one minute you're laughing. Really, really funny stuff in there, and the next minute the walking in. It was
like
amazing.
This show,
isn't it? You're laughing and crying all the I like laughing and crying, you see, John.
I watched you guys. I watched you. They're very sadistic. I watched you guys jumping.
Yeah.
They're scaring you.
Yeah. They did that to us. That's awful. I could have a heart condition. I have now.
So, John, what would you say are your favourite horror films of all time?
Oh, there are many. I mean, horror and fantasy, they're just metaphors, that's the book is about, which is, you have to mention, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, here it is. There it is.
Wow.
Monsters in the movies, but I have a lot.
Gorgeous book, isn't it?
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, do you know who's in it?
Yes, I do. Hang on, I found the page. There's a picture of a lady with her boobies out, so I'm going to put a piece of paper over that. See that lady down in the bottom corner? See who that is?
That's the next guest.
Yeah.
Amanda Donohoe. There she is. Look, there she is.
Oh, Amanda, what film was that? Can you remember?
Is, Ken Russell's The Lair of the White Worm. It's based on a Bram Stoker novel.
She was really scary in that, too. And sexy, elegant and sexy.
But that is the whole horror genre, really, isn't it? It's combining the two successfully.
Well, it's a lot deeper than that, actually. It's just horror and fantasy. Humans, what I learned writing this book, with these hairless apes here, we're scared to death. And what we're scared of is interesting. We are frightened of what we don't know.
Yeah.
And so as people, we can't accept what we don't know. So what we do is we make it up. We create religions and philosophies and zombies and ghosts. Nobody knows what happens when you die. So a lot of this is dealing with those fears. And one of the things you talk about laughing and screaming, they're very similar. They're both, you know, they're... reactions. I'm trying to think of the word. They're spastic reactions. They're physical reactions. They're not thoughtful reactions. And comedy and fear are very similar. And did you see what you guys did as soon as you were horrified?
Laughed.
Started laughing.
Yeah.
And that's how we deal with this stuff. And that's what this is. You know, Joe Dante in the book says, you know, name the monster, name the metaphor.
Yes.
You know.
But what criteria did you use to put... I mean, there's loads of monsters in films, isn't there? You haven't got them all
hundreds.
in there.
Yeah,
so...
well, I don't have all of them, but there are Well, in the book, I talked to Christopher Lee and Sam Raimi and Ray Harryhausen and John Carpenter and Joe Dante and David Cronenberg and Guillermo del Toro. A lot of people who've made monster films. They all disagree
That's a really interesting
on what a monster
point.
is, because what is it that's... You know, it's like people misunderstand. You know how people say they're afraid of the dark? No one's afraid of the dark. We're afraid of what we can't see in the dark. You know, just ignorance is what scares us the most.
What scares you?
People. I'm not afraid of any vampire or werewolf or ghost. I'm afraid because there's a chapter in there on human monsters, you know, like Norman Bates or Halloween. Or the one that scared me to death was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because those people exist.
Yeah.
My gran used to always say that. You want to be scared of the living, love, not the dead.
Not the dead, yeah.
I love the living love.
Yeah, the living, love, not the dead.
I was very glad to see the giant ants in there as monsters, because...
them.
Yeah, from them.
Well,
Very early
there's a whole
film.
chapter on nature's revenge, I call it. But you know, Jaws is a shark. You know, so what they do is they take our natural fears, spiders, ants, you know, insects, and they make them gigantic, or they make them somehow intelligent.
And they used to have to do it without all the technology that we have now, so they were a little bit shaky, weren't they?
It depends. I mean, you know, I make movies, and film has a very unique, and television sometimes, but especially movies, is a unique position in the arts, which is if you look at a bad painting, do you study it? Or do you start reading a bad book? Do you finish it? Or especially bad theater? You get the hell out of there. You can really enjoy a bad movie. You know, and we do.
It's true. John, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. It's John
Thank you.
Landis, everyone.
You have to hold up the book again. Thank you.
OK, and the book is out now, John tells me to tell you. It's competition time again, and we are giving away £10,000